everyone, we are Geeks Not Nerds. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince.
Today we're going to be talking about comics. We're going to be talking about Punisher Max.
The good stuff.
Yes, indeed. Vince and I have both been reading Punisher Max. Vince turned me on to the series a couple months back, and I think issue 8 just came out, what, a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
And we've both been really enjoying this series. Vince, what do you think is great about the series?
I think that the use of the Punisher is awesome.
And by the way, Vince is a huge Punisher fan.
Yeah.
We've said this before, but Vince buys everything that has the Punisher in it.
Yeah.
If there's a book that comes out, it goes on Vince's pull if it has Punisher in it, even if it's bad.
Yeah, I'm getting Frankencastle, Shadowland. I've bought Girl Comics.
We'll see how Shadowland is. I mean, it might be good. We haven't read it yet.
Girl Comics, terrible. Just saying. Don't buy it. It's awful.
Now, this is the second GNN now we've done on the Punisher. It's because Vince is a huge Punisher fan. I'm not a big Punisher fan, and I thought it would be really fun to do this because I'm actually really loving this series. First of all, let's mention that this, of course, being Max, is very explicit kind of stuff, so it's not going to be for everybody. Yeah. And I'm sure there's a couple of our normal viewers who just fainted in their chair to find out that I'm reading the series.
No, Cap, not you!
He's gone to the dark side. Pretty soon he's going to be cursing up a storm.
See, I'd like to see Dark Punisher, see what happens there.
Or Dark Captain Logan.
Yeah. I think we need a comic book about Captain Logan first.
Yeah. Well, I meant like on our channel.
Dark Captain Logan. Who's that guy?
Wow, I can't see him. Where is he?
he's in a... I'm not going to say it, never mind.
So what is different about the use of the Punisher in this than from other things before it?
Well, I mean, you have several different uses of Punisher, which I'm not going to go over at the moment. But I think the most popular one is using the Punisher as the main character and trying to delve into his psyche, which, if you don't understand it, you shouldn't do. But interestingly, this guy, Jason Aaron, is managing to delve into the Punisher's psyche by not using him as the main character. This book is not... If you're a big Punisher fan and you want to see Punisher blow things up and shoot people, you're only going to get minimal amount of that.
Yeah, it's not for you. It's not going to be for you. He is in fewer panels than anyone in this book.
Yeah.
Of the mains.
And I've read other books that have done this. The Shadow's done this, the Dark Horse Shadow stuff, where the guy's in the background. He's plotting, he's scheming, he's launching his attack, and it does have an omniscient narrator, so you do get into the mind of the Punisher and Bullseye and Kingpin. Some of the, also, I was going to say, some of the better Spawn stories were done that way also. So, you know, it's not unheard of, and it's not, it's something that should be used more often, I think.
I think so too, and I think especially with these kind of characters where it's when you have a killer, when you have a character that is, you know, the good guy, but he's walking a line, and he's a big killer, especially when you have somebody who's not especially outspoken. There have even been very good stories, I mean Batman stories, with Batman somewhat in the background. You get a character who doesn't talk a lot, and who, you know, by his very nature, and then you put him in every panel, and you have to give him dialogue just because it's his book, and then that can be a problem.
That's why a lot of Punisher team-ups are just so awkward. I've been reading Moon Knight lately, and they do that. Every time you get the Punisher and Spider-Man in a room, you have Spider-Man say, well, you kill people, and that's wrong, and Punisher says, well, you're a woman, or something. I'm kidding, that'd be really funny.
Which he's not.
Indeed he's not, ask Mary Jane. So, but he can be done well. Zeb Wells, with his anti-venom,
yeah, which
Zeb Wells with his Spider-Man.
Talked about before. What I loved about the anti-venom thing, I mean, that was effectively a team-up, and Punisher hardly talked in that.
Yeah.
And when he did, he had something to say. I mean, it's very good. So, Punisher Max is basically a story about a Kingpin to begin with, and then brings in Bullseye. And
the first 6 or so issues, right?
Yeah, I think the first 6 issues are the Kingpin arc, and the way they're naming these arcs is by the characters. So the first six are called Kingpin, and now we're on Bullseye. And I don't know. Do you think they're going to keep on with that? Do you think they'll bring in some more?
I hope it doesn't go too long. I hope they get
into... It depends on who they do, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, there's that. But I really liked having villains just be created. I mean, with Garth Ennis, you had Barracuda created, you had Monucci, you had the Russian.
Well, so you want to see some new characters show up.
Yeah, and that's what I thought was interesting about this, is we got away from the universe, and what I'm afraid is that they're going to turn Punisher Max into a universe where they just try to keep pulling stuff in and effectively make it the real-life version. Like,
of mainline.
Yeah. So
honestly, I'm okay with that if it stays interesting. And that's the tough thing, but right now, it has remained interesting.
The reason I think it's interesting, or the reason why it's even good, is that they didn't just throw Kingpin like, oh, by the way, there's this guy behind the scenes who's been running everything. No.
It was so cool.
Oh, yeah. The first 6 issues are the rise of the Kingpin, where he started, where he's going, and it manages to start in the middle of things, even.
In the first issue, there's a lot of people talking about the Kingpin as this, like, imaginary character.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as the Kingpin, but it's like this this
Kingpin
thing that's
was a I don't want to say a device because it makes it sound like it's part of the story, but the characters, the mob runners, all these guys who run the mobs, they created a false Kingpin.
That's right.
In order to get the Punisher running in circles. And
then effectively, as it goes on, Wilson Fisk actually becomes the Kingpin.
Sorry to ruin it for you guys. No, you didn't see it coming.
Yeah, I don't think that's exactly a spoiler, Vince. But no, yes, everyone, Wilson Fisk does become the Kingpin. But yeah, he's like the Kingpin is an urban legend to begin with, and then it becomes Wilson Fisk. That's very cool. And something similar is, well, not something similar is happening with Bullseye, but just the idea of taking Bullseye, which was always a cool character, but not especially a realistic character, and making him work. One of the first things he does is threaten somebody with a toothpick. And then the guy's like, oh God, and then he's like, well, I can't kill you with a toothpick, what?
See,
and that's hilarious.
I really appreciate that, because I was a little on the scared side that Jason Aaron was going to take this into the superpowered realm, and that's not why
Punisher Max is cool. That's what you told me, too. When they introduced Bullseye at the end, you were like, oh no. And I was like, just wait, Vince, just wait. And I was right.
And then it was a little corny, but I appreciated the wink to the fans of Punisher Max saying, hey guys, I'm not going to do with this what you think I'm going to.
You know what I wish they'd do? in continuing bringing in some mainline, and honestly, that's the reason I like it so much myself. I don't think I would have been as into this if it weren't for the fact that it's doing things with characters I already know and like. But that's just me. But I mean, I'm a big Daredevil fan, so you know when I found out they were doing Kingpin in this, and despite the really vulgar stuff and everything that I just have to kind of look past, that I don't love, but the storytelling is so good, I can get past it. What I wish they do is in bringing in mainline people, not necessarily it always has to be a villain. I wish they'd do a Max version of Ben Urich.
Huh.
And then do, like, kind of, you know, keep Punisher in the background, and then Ben Urich is now investigating the Punisher and all this stuff that's going on. And, like, things like that. I think there's things that they could do with other characters that aren't villains.
That's not bad. I really would not want to see an alter ego of a superhero in there. But Ben Urich, I like.
I think that's maybe, and honestly, I'd almost bet you money that's where they're going to go. And
that's not a bad idea. I have nothing to say other than that's cool. I like it.
So I'm just thinking they could do something like that, or even bring in like I don't know, Paige, or I mean there's people that you could do.
Now dealing with the Punisher, there's something I want to say because I think this Jason Aaron really is nailing his characterization of the Punisher on the head, and there's a lot of writers lately other than Jason Aaron who just do not get it. They have no idea what they're doing. Gischler, stop it. So, but Victor Gischler, he wrote one of the in-betweens, Ennis and Aaron. So, pretty much every one of those was bad. And they used the Punisher in ways that they just didn't understand him. And Aaron is using the Punisher in the background. And spoil this, but so mean of me. Bullseye is trying to live Punisher, an aspect of Punisher's life. And I'll let that stand, and you guys can read there.
Sure.
But Bullseye is trying to get inside the mind of the Punisher, and he's only doing this surface idea of what the Punisher is. And what I find interesting is that that's exactly what all the other writers have done, other than Ennis and Aaron with the Max line. They use this really shaky, easily understood idea of the Punisher. Well, his family died, now he kills people. Okay, cool. So,
and then this thing is trying to layer it more than that.
Yeah,
it's saying there's more to it than that.
It's making him a deeper guy, without having to make him in the front or in the foreground speaking his mind. And that's, I don't know. there's subtext, and I can appreciate that in a comic book.
Absolutely.
Who says comic books are not art?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Not me. Well, I guess this is effectively a big, long recommend on Punisher Max, but we did want to talk about it a little bit because it's one of the few things that Vince and I are both reading. We'll also probably do one of these on Shadowland when it's done, because we're both reading that. So thanks a lot for watching, and if you have an idea for something we might do a video on later on, leave that in the comments below, and we'll see you next time on Geeks Not Nerds. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince.
Thanks for watching. Would you like to see the back?
They're really cool.